Welcome back to MJL 3764, collecting Elvis on vinyl. Today I thought we'd look at some UK compilation albums. These all have one thing in common, they're all double albums. So let's take a look at the first one. The first double album was issued in 1979. This was just called Elvis Presley, twin pack. Don't know what you think of the cover, obviously it's been used before. On the very first album they've used a white sort of background, and to be honest I passed on this when it first came out. I didn't buy this straight away. I thought it looked cheap, really, to be honest. This cover, it's a double album in a single jacket as well. The back side looks like that, with ads for other artists and a little write-up. Basically this album was issued because of the movie Elvis the Movie, featuring Kurt Russell. So it was just to capitalise on that, really. I think it was done rather quickly and it shows. But it was 2 records for the price of 1. It was on the orange. Record 1, record 2. These are probably near mint. I've probably played these records once and that was about it, just filed them away. And there's a track listing. Another compilation here from 1982. This one was called Elvis Images. 2 record set, again in a single sleeve. This one wasn't on the RCA label, this was on the Canberra label, although it is licensed from RCA, so it is official product. But that's what the Canberra label looks like, which again looks like a bootleg, fairly cheap looking label. There's a track listing. Side 1 is Elvis Rockabilly. Side 2, Elvis Rock and Roll King. Side 3, or record 2, side A, Elvis Sings the Blues. And side 4 is a good one, Elvis Changes. No, it's not the David Bowie record, and I don't know why they called it Elvis Changes. As you can see, it features original mono recordings, licensed from RCA Records, and it's compiled by Bob Jones and Malcolm Lewis. So a good compilation, that one. Elvis Images, 1982. 1987, for the 10th anniversary of Elvis's death, this album was released in the UK. Presley, the all-time greatest hits, a double album featuring 45 tracks. This was quite well promoted by RCA for a change and showed in the charts. I believe it got to number 4, 1987. I sold quite a few copies. Came in a gatefold sleeve. It was on the new German black label. Inside the sleeve you've got some notes and some memorabilia. And the back of the sleeve, it's got chart positions, etc. Some information on the back. Now what was good about this release is some of these songs, even though they were the originals, they sounded different. They sounded a lot better, in my opinion. which was down to the mastering by Bob Jones. You can see there, Roger Seaman's got a name check there, project consultant. Had the digitally remastered logo. As I say, this was 1987, so you could actually buy this on vinyl or CD. There's a CD there, that's what this looks like on the RCA. So you had the option, CD or vinyl, or both. So a very good release. Some of these tracks though were not the originals, not the original hit singles. Haven't played this in a while, but I believe always on my mind, unfortunately, is the stringed version, which to me, I prefer the James Burton guitar version. And I'm pretty sure an American Trilogy is a Hampton Roads Elvis on Tour version, not the single version. There may be some others, I haven't played it in a while, but there are some tracks that are different from the original singles, but also some of the songs do sound different, but they are the original cuts, if you get what I mean. If you've heard the album, you'll know. It sounds better to me. I don't know what they've done to it. I don't know the technicalities behind it, but it sounded really good when I first heard this album. So just goes to show you when RCA do things right, they do get them right. Lovely picture of Elvis on the front, 45 tracks, all sounding brilliant. Can be bought on vinyl or CD. You can't go wrong. Also of note is there's a couple of latter tracks on here, stuff like Moody Blue and Way Down, which obviously you didn't see too often on the RCA albums, as most people know. Pre-1973, Elvis and the Colonel had sold the rights to all of his recorded work, so they didn't have to pay Elvis a penny for anything he recorded from 54 to 73. So you didn't often see tracks like Moody Blue or Way Down or anything like that on these compilations, as I had to pay the estate money. But on this one, they've actually featured a couple of latter tracks as well to bring it bang up to date. Very good release. In 1981, this album was released. Elvis at his best. Again, double album, unfortunately in a single sleeve. Featuring 32 tracks. That cover looks like that, fairly plain. And 8 tracks per side. Again, the usual hits are here. A couple of odd tracks. One coming up here, Come What May. As you can see by the listing, it goes from 1954 to 1969 in the ghetto. No 70s material on here. As you can see, it was compiled, edited and remastered by Bob Jones. Yet again. And normally does a stellar job on these releases, and normally puts his trademark Boppin' Bob on the run out groove of the record. Record is on the new black RCA label. And these records sound fine, really good. I think if I put this at a certain angle, you may see that there in the run out. Very popular in the, I believe I started seeing these etchings in the run out grooves around 77, 78. I think in England, the biggest one I remember seeing, every single I bought seemed to have a Porky Prime cut etched into the run out groove, or the dead wax at the end of the record. And Boppin' Bob always signs his ones. Elvis at his best. We're going to cheat a little bit with these two. They are single albums, but as you can see from the sleeve, buy Romantic Elvis and get Rockin' Elvis free, or buy Rockin' Elvis and get Romantic Elvis free. So if you bought one, you got one free. So basically a double album. Both have 20 tracks on them. That's Romantic Elvis, Rockin' Elvis. A 1982 release. It was repressed again in 84. This is the 82 press on the blue Elvis label. It's Romantic Elvis. Just came with a plain red inner sleeve. And Rockin' Elvis, the 60s, all 60s tracks, was in a plain blue inner sleeve. Take a look at the back. Looks like that. And the track listing. Then they've put some not so famous tracks on here, which is good. I think this was compiled by Roger Seaman. As you can see, there's even some movie tracks on here. 2 tracks from Girls, Girls, Girls. You must have liked that one. Boy Like Me, A Girl Like You. And I Don't Want To. It's also got A World of Our Own on here, which maybe have been one that I might not have included. That's the romantic one. The rocking one. Looks like that. If you actually look at the pictures, 3 out of 4, the front cover, the reverse of the romantic. These was all featured on the Elvis Presley box set. This I believe was on the booklet, and the other 2 were on the records, I believe, on the inner sleeves. But this one's a different one, 72 picture on the back there. And the track listing. Again, a few different choices, make it a bit more interesting. And it ends with the great I'm Coming Home, one of my favourite Elvis tracks of all time. You can tell it's an 80s release. It's in the corner. It's got the home taping is killing music, and it's illegal on both these. Remember they used to put that in the inner sleeves as well on some of the releases. This actually did chart, these 2 albums. Got to number 62 in the UK. Worthwhile release. Plenty more to show, but I think we'll leave it here for now until the next video. So just remember, while there's music, life's no waste.